A few days ago, the Israeli president was here in Zambia. And this is the first time that an Israeli president has visited the nation. In 1966, Zambia formalized ties with Israel, and there was when an embassy in Lusaka. But a few years later, in 1973, the ties were severed. This was because of the Yom Kippur War. But for me to explain this war, we have to go back to 1967. In that year, Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria invaded Israel with the goal to weaken or to destroy the nation. But after 6 days, Israel was successful, and in the process took some territories that belonged to these three nations. So in 1973, when the Yom Kippur War began, it began on one of the holiest days in Israel. Egypt made a surprise invasion or attack with the goal to get back its territories from Israel. But after this war, Egypt was successful and got back its territories. So why did Zambia sever ties? It's because Zambia at the time had a pro-Palestine, pro-Arab stance. And this stance was echoed through the OAU, the Organization for African Unity. It stood with the Arabs as well as the Palestinian people. And I think it was just a way to pressure Israel to return the territories that it had taken from these nations. If we go back to 1991, our first democratically elected president, Frederick Chiluba, normalized ties again with Israel, but Zambia still maintained that pro-Palestine stance. Then in 2015, a Zambian embassy was opened in Tel Aviv, in Israel, the capital, because now the ties between the two nations were being restored. Then in August this year, the Israeli embassy was reopened in Lusaka. So according to our government, the main goal of this strategic partnership is to help the two nations develop in terms of agriculture, trade and investment, mining, and many other areas. So usually when I hear of different topics, I usually go to Facebook and I look up the topics and see what the local Zambian people are saying. So when I first saw this, most of the comments on some of the posts I saw were very negative. This was because of the events that began in 2023. I'm sure most of us know that during that year, Hamas invaded Israel and took some hostages and also murdered some people in the process. But people are upset at the retaliation of the Israeli government about how this ongoing war has destroyed and killed many innocent Palestinian people, both in the West Bank as well as on the Gaza Strip. We've seen how these people have been starved. There was a famine, artificial famine that was caused by this because the Israeli government had denied foreign trucks with aid to help these people. We've also seen how the country has been destroyed. Most of the critical infrastructure like hospitals, schools, power and water utility companies have been destroyed during this war. We've also seen how Israel has attacked many of its neighbors like Syria, Lebanon, and many countries that are still in the region like Iran, and surprisingly Qatar. Qatar is one of the nations that has been helping in the mediation between Hamas on the Gaza Strip for the Palestinian people and the Israeli government. It has been the mediator trying to, bring up a cease deal to stop the war and the death that has been happening on the Gaza Strip. Surprisingly, they were also attacked. Then we've also seen how Israel has, failed to follow the ceasefire deals and how the ceasefire is made, but a couple of days later Israel would bomb Gaza, and we've seen all this that's been going on. And many people are alleging this is genocide that's been happening, of which maybe it is. Because we've seen how South Africa dragged Israel to the ICC, International Criminal Court, and right now there is actually a warrant for the arrest of the Prime Minister of Israel and some government officials because of the actions and things that have been happening in Gaza. So I think many Zambian people stand with South Africa, in them condemning the genocide and deaths that have been happening towards the Palestinian people. Also the allegations of apathy that's been happening there. We've been seeing this happening live. We've seen innocent people being killed, children, women, old people, journalists, people who are trying to help and spread the awareness on the news of what's happening on the strip have been murdered. So many Zambian people share the same sentiment and view. Anyway, people, thank you for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts on this topic, the Zambia-Israel relationship, in the comments below. And remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.